My name is Brad Roderick, and among the things that I do here at Trinity Anglican Seminary, I'm the director of the Stanway Institute for World Missions and Evangelism.
My name is Daniel Jeremiah Omar, and I'm born and raised in Kenya, a small town in the northern part of Kenya called Marsabit. And I heard about Stanway scholars when a group of students from Trinity came for a cross-cultural trip to my diocese.
The institute is named for the Right Reverend Alfred Stanway. He was a missionary from Australia who served in East Africa. He originally came as a young priest, he and his family, and served in East Africa, eventually becoming the bishop.
And I was doing ministry with the youths. I was the youth leader and doing fellowships and Bible studies. And when a team from Trinity came, I was able to invite them to be part of the youth groups and actually give some opportunities to teach too. And so one of the students asked me about my ministry and where I am and what I intend to do in the future. And I shared about my desire to go for further studies. And he said, "Oh, have you thought about Trinity?" And I said, I just heard about it, but I haven't given it, much thought.
One of the things that was really important to him was education. He wanted to train up indigenous leadership there in East Africa because up until, including his time as a bishop, all of the bishops had been expats. They'd been British people, Americans, Australians, and he didn't think that was right. So by the time that he retired, he left behind 9 East Africans who had been consecrated as bishops.
And I was able to get admitted, and I came in 2018. An awesome program because most of us will not be able to afford to be able to come and study on our own, and so Stanway scholars make it possible for individuals who are passionate, who are doing ministry already on the ground, to be able to come and get equipped. And then when they go back, not just being in parish ministry, but one of the main need in Africa as a whole is theological education. And so the training here equips us to be able to invest in theological education whichever place that we end up doing ministry.
So as I said, one of the primary focuses of Stanway's ministry on the mission field and his vision for starting the school was to develop national leadership, to invest in indigenous leaders for the church. And so in his honor, in 1989, Trinity established the Stanway Institute for World Missions and Evangelism. One of the many things that institute does is focus on providing scholarships for international students, predominantly from Africa, who are going to be able to come here and train. Some of them come and train to be better priests through the MAR program. Others come through the STM program to not just add priests, but multiply priests. They can go back as professors or teachers in local schools that are training up leadership for the African churches. So through the Stanway Institute, we actually have a Stanway scholarship that allows us to bring 2 fully funded students every year. But in addition to that, we're also able to, through the Stanway Institute, encourage our international student population. At any given time, 10 to 20% of the student body here are international students, and they come from all over the world. Through the Stanway program, in addition to just the 2 students that come on the scholarship, we're able to do a boot camp that helps get the students off on the right foot, to help them understand how to navigate the American educational system, which is different from the way that they're used to learning. Teach them how to write a paper, how to think critically, how to evaluate the material that's being taught in class. We also want them just to have a good time, so we get them involved in different cultural experiences. We take them on a tour of Pittsburgh or take them to a Pirates game and let them just get to really understand better what it's like to live here. And then while they're here, they're also interacting with our American students, because an equal part of what we're doing through the Stanway Institute is helping our American students develop a global vision. So they're making friends with students, priests from around the world while they're here. Some of those priests go back home and end up becoming bishops, and the American students become rectors of churches that are looking for partnerships, how they can serve and help the global Anglican communion. And so then they remember, oh, I have this friend, I sat next to him in Old Testament class. And I was at the GAFCON meeting in Texas, and there were about 170 people in the room, and I had 3 minutes to explain what Trinity was. And so I stood up and I said, I think like a missionary, so I'm not going to just tell you. I want you guys to all get involved in this. And so if you have ever taken a class at Trinity, if you're on our board of trustees, if you're a graduate of Trinity, if you've ever taught a class at Trinity, and by the time I was through giving out those categories, about 2/3 of the room was standing up. We are really well reflected throughout the global Anglican communion, and that's the work of the Stanway Institute, bringing theological education and gospel sharing to the world.